Did you know that an astonishing 40% of China's household income is stashed away for the future? This dwarfs most other countries, including the US and the UK, as well as the rest of the world, where the savings rates mostly hover between 0 to 10%. But of course, what works in the world's second most populous nation might not fit seamlessly into your life. So as we navigate through these 8 quintessential Chinese saving practices, it's an opportunity to ponder, adapt, and question. Are these practices universally applicable, or are they uniquely tailored to the intricate fabric of China's society? We'll give you our own take on it to help you decide if it's something you want to pursue. Let's dive right in. Number 1. Culture. In China, saving isn't just a financial strategy, it's a deeply ingrained cultural norm. The journey starts at a young age when children are taught to save their red envelope money from Lunar New Year, embodying the virtue of frugality passed down through generations. This tradition is more than just saving. It's about preparing for the future, embodying a sense of responsibility towards oneself and one's family. But here's where the complexity lies. In a rapidly changing China, with its booming economy and rising consumer culture, this age-old practice is challenged. How does one balance the lure of modern consumption with the traditional virtue of saving? This clash between old and new creates a unique dynamic, making the act of saving a deliberate choice amidst growing temptations. Is this cultural emphasis on saving transferable to other countries? The answer is yes, but with a caveat. While the principle of saving as a virtue can be adopted universally, the deep cultural roots and familial obligations that drive it in China may not resonate as strongly elsewhere, requiring more effort to foster a similar savings culture. One way to recreate this is by sticking around like-minded people in your community, whether that's friends, family, or even savings groups online. Number 2. Precautions. Social safety nets can sometimes be more of a tightrope than a cushion. In China, this reality drives the practice of precautionary saving, where families save aggressively for medical emergencies, educational opportunities, and the unpredictable twists of life. So it's not always about thrift, but about ensuring a stable future in a landscape where state support might not be a given. And there's the age-old tug-of-war. On one hand, there's the desire to enjoy the fruits of hard labor, yet on the other, there's the looming uncertainty of what-if scenarios. This balancing act is a testament to the resilience and forward thinking of Chinese households. Can this practice be adopted elsewhere? The verdict is yes. The concept of saving for a rainy day is universally applicable, and it doesn't need to be restricted to countries with less robust social welfare systems. Of course, the intensity and necessity of saving might vary, since the underlying urgency and scale might differ based on local social security systems. Number 3. Retirement planning. Imagine reaching your golden years, envisioning a life of ease and leisure, only to realize your savings are insufficient to support this dream. This is a stark reality for many globally, but in China, the approach to retirement planning is markedly proactive. In a society with a somewhat limited pension system, individuals are encouraged to take matters into their own hands, diligently setting aside a portion of their income for the future. The system doesn't cover the entire workforce, leaving many to rely on personal savings for retirement. This necessity has fostered a culture of disciplined saving from an early age. In terms of transferability, the principle of self-reliance in retirement planning is universally applicable. It underscores the importance of individual responsibility and foresight in financial planning, principles that hold true across borders. So in our opinion, it's a clear yes. Take full advantage of retirement accounts and opt in wherever there is employer matching. If there are state-provided Social Security benefits in retirement, that's the cherry on the cake. Number 4. Education. In a world where knowledge is power, many parents in China take no chances. The high value placed on education is both a cultural emblem and a financial commitment that shapes the very fabric of family savings. Parents pour a significant portion of their income into ensuring their children receive a top-notch education, sometimes at the cost of their own financial comfort. This relentless pursuit of academic excellence propels the savings rate to impressive heights, but also brings a silent pressure that looms over every family. Looking beyond China's borders, this rigorous investment in education is interesting. Is this fervent saving for education transferable? It's probably a solid maybe. The principle of prioritizing education is universal. However, the intensity and financial strain it brings might not align with every country's educational landscape or financial flexibility. In many cases, it may not be an absolute must to attend the very top universities or colleges, when there may be state-funded education options available at a much lower cost. Formal education is vital, but there may be other more pressing reasons and areas to divert your savings to. Number 5. The one-child policy. Picture a family where all resources, emotional, financial, and educational, can be focused on just one child. This was the reality in China for over 3 decades under the one-child policy. This led to what's often referred to as the 4-2-1 phenomenon: 4 grandparents and 2 parents supporting one child. Parents, driven by the desire to give their only child the best start in life, channeled their earnings into savings, educational funds, and property investments, hoping to secure a prosperous future for their offspring. This intensified focus on the child's success and well-being led to a surge in savings, as families aimed to provide the best education and opportunities possible for their sole heir. The other side of the coin was that this intense focus also brought about a unique set of pressures for the single child, bearing the weight of multiple generations' expectations. Of course, population control is now ancient history in many countries around the world, with many governments encouraging exactly the opposite: for families to have more children to cope with the future problem of aging populations. But there are some lessons to be learned from China's example, which makes the verdict here 50-50. The key consideration here is that it costs money to raise a child, sometimes a lot of money, and families should carefully consider if they have the means before starting a family. It may sound cold, but it's a financial reality. Number 6. Limited investment options. In China, the investment landscape has historically been quite narrow, with real estate and savings accounts being among the few viable options. This limitation forces a focus on saving, as the lack of diverse investment vehicles means that surplus income often finds its way into savings accounts by default. While this scarcity of options might seem restrictive, it simplifies the decision-making process for many households, funneling more funds into savings and bolstering financial resilience against future uncertainties. But does this translate to savers in other countries? The verdict here is a nuanced no. There are a plethora of investment options, from stocks to bonds to mutual funds and ETFs, and while investments carry risks, they are one of the best ways to outpace inflation and grow wealth. As we've touched on in some of our other videos, putting everything in a savings account is likely to actually lose you money over time. The key is not just to save, but to educate yourself and invest, ensuring that your money is not only kept aside, but also works as hard as possible. Number 7. Real estate. For many Chinese families, owning property isn't just a roof over their heads, it's a symbol of security and prosperity. The drive to invest in real estate is all around, influenced by rapid urbanization and economic growth. For many, the idea of not owning property can stir a sense of uncertainty about the future, compelling families to prioritize saving for property investment. So it's more than just having a place to call home. It's a strategic move to ensure financial stability, given the historical returns and the tangible nature of this asset. Now, when we think about how this translates to other countries, there are both similarities and differences. While real estate can be a sound investment globally, market dynamics vary significantly. Factors like mortgage interest rates, property taxes, and the stability of the real estate market play crucial roles. So, is this factor transferable? It's only a slight yes. Real estate is a tried and tested asset, but it has drawbacks, such as a high entry cost and ongoing maintenance costs, and property is not the most liquid asset. As we mentioned earlier, there are usually a wide variety of other investment options that may suit your needs better than real estate. Number 8. Tech. Tapping a button on your smartphone to manage all your personal finances might seem like a utopian dream, but this is the norm in China. The rise of digital payment platforms like Alipay and WeChat has revolutionized the financial landscape. These platforms offer not just convenience, but also sophisticated tools for tracking spending, setting budget goals, and automatically diverting funds into savings and investment accounts. This seamless integration of financial management into daily life makes saving easier. Can this tech-savvy approach to saving work elsewhere? The answer is a resounding yes. Apps like Chip, Acorns, and Chime are widely available, which can automate the saving and investment process. Tech is universal. We mentioned that culture or mindset can be an important factor in saving money, and other intangible aspects like psychology can play a big role too. So check out this video next on how to train your brain to save better.